gagana sadarsham tattvam ekam nityam vimalam achalam sarvadi sakshi bhutam bhavatitam trigunarahitam sadgurum tam. So, we are back here. Most are familiar faces. There may be very few unfamiliar faces. And we are going to again do the Upanishad. Some of you might have already attended the Upanishad classes before. You think it's going to be any different? Because if it's not any different, why are you guys here? So there must be some reason. Either you are searching for the truth or you want to see me, one of these. Mostly I think that. Rather than, so. Because I see some people again, second session sitting in. So. Okay. So today we just have, as usual, a general introduction, and then from tomorrow onwards we go into the Upanishad proper. So, okay. Now, last Upanishad session we had 2 days. I started with something from a particular Upanishad. What was that? Those who attended just 2 days ago, please. Huh? What is Kati Upanishad? Huh? Like Kati Patang? Which one? Katho, Katako Upanishad, Katho Upanishad. Okay. It's actually Katha Upanishad, also called Katako Upanishad. And I at random opened the book, and there was one little, I think it is, I'll figure out. So we went through that first, and we wondered, what is the point of listening to the talks? Because the Upanishad says something very interesting. First of all, let's say about the Upanishad. Upanishads were in ancient times taught to a small group of people who sat together with the teacher, asked questions, learned things. But although I can't say that it is not for everybody, I can't say everybody should not study the Upanishad. I can't make a statement like that. However, Upanishad is meant only for those who are really looking for the truth, which one can count, maybe one cannot even count in the fingers of one's hand how many really are looking for the truth. In the name of truth, we look for various things, but not the truth. Truth may be unpalatable, right? But we're looking for something palatable which can be turned into truth. So, actually it's not meant for everybody. Which is why they taught it in forest hermitages to a small group of people, so that they knew that others are not interested in the Upanishad. But you have to note that in the Hindu system of thought, and I say Hindu because it came from Hindustan, not with any other bracket. The Upanishads are the most ancient fountainhead of wisdom. That they were taught in India, there is no doubt. We need to respect that. But the messages are always universal. And among all the scriptures that we have, all the darshanas that we have, Upanishads generally form part of the Vedanta darshana. There are 5 darshanas in India, 5 systems of thought, of which Vedanta is only one. And out of Vedanta, one of the most important texts studied by the Vedantins were the Upanishads. And they are among the earliest messages, earliest teachings that we've got. And they go directly into the core of the matter instead of running around in the periphery. Which is why it was not taught to everybody. Not because one belonged to this caste or that. No. It's because it's not meant for everybody to be understood. It cannot be understood because our aims are different, although we like to cloak it in the feeling that we are searching for the truth. I think when truth really reveals itself, we might run away. What we are searching is satisfaction, not truth. Truth may be total dissatisfaction. How does one know? Unless one has touched it. So all the several books which appear in the new world market, how to improve your life, this doesn't apply to the Upanishads. How to be more positive. Upanishad says, if you are negative, why do you say you are positive? You see, but truth is not palatable. I can tell you from the hundreds of emails I receive, people who have known me for so many years, who have sat through Upanishad teachings, usually about a promotion or somebody's wife is fighting with me or the other way around. This is not the subject of the Upanishad. How to improve my career. If that is what you're looking for, Upanishad does not contain it. You must look for something else. Or go to teachers who give you shortcuts, magic formulas. I don't know if he's here. I have a good friend. I'm not blaming anybody. Natural human beings. Only thing is, don't suppose that you're qualified for the Upanishad. I don't know if he's here or he came and went back. Every time he came to do pranams, he used to tell me, I just want to know, give me one mantra to build wealth. Now there are many teachers who are ready to do that, so go there. I cannot have any. I don't have a formula for building wealth, do I? Otherwise, I myself would have been a billionaire by now. So anyway, I'm just giving you the background. However, having said all that, I think it's a good idea to study the Upanishads because it is a good since you know that it's at least 2,000 years old, it's part of Shruti, original wisdom that has come to us. It's good to know the Upanishad so that at least it keeps you away from what usually attracts the human being and gets the human being trapped, which is what? Repeated formulas. Or to say that this particular technique. This is why when I teach Kriya, I tell people, please, Kriya is not the be-all and end-all of existence. It's not the only thing available as sadhana. There are many other sadhanas available. Kriya is one of them. So, if you go deep into the Upanishads and understand, even verbally, if one hasn't even touched the truth, at least verbally, one will be saved from those who sell formulas to you. This is the technique, this is the best. Do this and everything is okay. You'll get moksha. Apart from being moksha, you will become a millionaire, and so on and so forth. There are people who appear on YouTube and say, just do this one thing. Everything is okay. How? Is this humanly possible? By the time you begin to ask these questions, probably they're dead and gone, so you can't ask. Anyway, so okay, so technically, Upanishad is not a wellness teaching. That's not the subject, okay? Give it off. So when you learn the Upanishad, you are going to face stark realities. Where we stand, and in fact, Upanishad even asks the question, is it possible for a human being to formulate truth at all? Because the moment truth is tied in a formula, it has lost its truthfulness. These are some of the subjects, although we'll come to that when we study the Upanishads. If you understood this much, then it's an interesting journey. Otherwise, you get bored in 2 minutes. It takes you to the root of the problem. It lets you see the essence of being, if you would allow the mind to free itself. And this is the journey of the Upanishads. It takes you closer to the truth, Upa. And it happens only when your mind has settled down. So the word shad in the Upanishad signifies one physically to sit down, and also that the mind has to sit down first, settle down. It also means, shad also means shake up. Shake up from what? Shankara interpreted it as shaking you up from the sleep of ignorance. But I think shake up also could mean changing your idea of things, putting them upside down. What you think is real sometimes is not so real, and what you think is unreal is sometimes real. To look at things from a revised point of view, to put your logic upside down. This is the meaning also of shad, to shake up. Like how serious and how real we think the world around us. Yes, it is. As long as you're alive, I understand. But really, truly, how real is the world we live in when you come today and you're gone tomorrow? Have you seen anybody living forever? Don't put Babaji into this bracket. Have you seen any human being or a yogi, however great, who has lived forever? We have an explanation for that, which is inside the samadhi is still alive. That's what we say. Who knows? So, this is what it is all about. I'm sorry, but we need to shake up before we do the Upanishads. Shaking up is very important. You have this world, we want to improve it. Okay, good, you should improve it, you should have good food, all that is fine. But is it permanent, however much you improve? Aren't we ready to leave it and go at some point or not? Whether you like it or not, you go. So, this is the teaching of Vedanta. This is the teaching of the Upanishad. I'm saying face the stark realities. And then we are going to study the Upanishad. I'm going to speak for the next 2-3 days and we are going to listen to it. Now, therefore, I wanted you, like I did last time, to see one of these slokas from the famous Katha Upanishad. We said Katha Upanishad, Kataka Upanishad. This is the 23rd sloka of the Katha Upanishad. The Upanishad has always been accepted by all the great acharyas as Shruti. Shruti means the truth which was heard by the rishis in a high state of consciousness, altered state of consciousness, not something invented by somebody, written down and so on. Shruti is something which when you hear, it immediately has an effect, if one is ready for it. Otherwise it will just go on the surface. As opposed to Smriti. Smriti is something like you can read, you can write, you can go home, you can do your homework. Shruti is not that. Shruti is that which is heard, Shrotra, and immediately has an effect. But for that, the mind has to be prepared for it. If the mind is not prepared, the Shruti, you can utter it many times, but it will have no effect. So this is the importance of the word Shruti. You can't say, I heard this, I'm going home to meditate upon it. No. If your mind is clear, it falls and it is done. In fact, blossom would be the loser, because once it gets, you don't have to come back. There's no point. Why would you come back? For what? You got it? So, to prepare the ground, so that when the Shruti from the Upanishad or falls, it is understood. That is the preparation, both the reading, the understanding, sadhana, everything. So, since we are going to do this Upanishad for the next 2 days, since you have come with a great desire to understand the truth, maybe, who knows, you can never say. Maybe, perhaps, otherwise why would you come from so far and come and sit here staring at me? So, no, I'm quite pleasant, that's a different matter. But so what I want to read from the 23rd verse of the Katha Upanishad is that while you are thinking that you are going to sit here for the next 2 days, and perhaps, may God do that, you go back understanding the truth, the Brahman, the supreme truth, the Satya as they call it. The Upanishad says, the first part of this sloka, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhya. This Atman cannot be attained through pravachana. This is exactly what I am doing, pravachana. Teaching. This Atman cannot, this is not what I am saying, okay? 2000 years ago, the rishis said it. This is the Shruti. Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhya. We should close down all our YouTube channels. No pravachana is going to help to find the truth. Says the Upanishad. People usually doing the Upanishad hide this and read everything else. Then, is that, why is that so? Because a pravachana is a reading or an expression or a teaching based on the Shruti. Unless the person is ready to absorb what is coming out through the Shruti, it makes no sense. So we can have 100 pravachanas. They will have no effect. You will pick up only what you want. And what is inconvenient, you will sweep it under the rug. So therefore, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhya, not through any pravachanam. Can this Atman be known? Then what should we do? Na medhaya, not through intellectual power. Some people have this, Upanishad, they are all highly intellectual. The Upanishad says through intellectual power you cannot understand this Atman. In which case, people like Einstein and or all those big philosophers, Socrates, or after that later Bertrand Russell, who wrote the famous book, Why I Am Not a Christian, and so on. If intellectual power was all that you needed, they would have known the Brahman. I don't think. They would have known the truth, but they don't. In fact, you can see examples of illiterate people who know nothing, who have not gone to school, touch the truth. So it's not a technical achievement. You cannot do a PhD in Vedanta and say, now I know the truth. You can for university purposes, but it doesn't mean anything. According to the Upanishad, not according to me. I may have my own opinions, but don't worry about that. Too small a man to have opinions. Anyway. So, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhya na medhaya, or through high intellectual power, which means with high intellectual power comes the ego. And along with the ego, the simplicity is lost. And if simplicity is lost, you cannot see a simple thing in front of you. It's all covered by what you have learned, what I have learned, or you have learned. Na bahuna shrutena, nor can it be attained by constantly hearing about it. Now where do we go? It's like caging you. I have nowhere to escape. I said, okay, all that is true, but I will keep listening to it. Bahuda shrutena. I keep on listening, then one day, this is like people sitting down and saying, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? When you get up, I am the same person. Any different? I can say, no, I found out who I am. I am not this, I am that supreme. And we get up and somebody says, hey, fool, you get angry. So where is the Brahman gone? I don't think I am being tough on this. This is the Upanishad saying. Na bahuna shrutena. Not through constantly. Because constant listening sometimes becomes repetitive. When you listen for the first time fresh, then it probably strikes. So, the idea is to keep the mind always fresh, not get caught up in what was said. Like those people who are attending the Upanishad today and who attended the Upanishad a day before, don't think of those 2 days. Think that we are now sitting fresh, new. All that is over. Because as a matter of fact, it is over. If it was not over, yesterday would be today. But it's not so, today is today. Yesterday you might have heard it, but it was yesterday, right? It's not here now. But is it really true? No, because I carry it in my mind, it's still here. Yesterday is here with me. So now, some people, I'm not saying all, who attended last time and now are attending the same Upanishad would start thinking, oh, he said this before, he didn't say this, now he said. So the whole thing is lost in comparison and reminiscences and ideas. So you cannot get to the center, to the essence. Can we? Like last time I saw her hair was black. This time I see it is brown. I don't know why. So, things change. So I must see it as it is today. No? I shouldn't think, oh, it was black. So, okay, she has brown hair. So what? Nice. If you had made it brown, I don't mind. So, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhya na medhaya na bahuna shrutena, listening constantly or chanting constantly. Now here is something terrible. Yamai vaishya vrinute. It is only attained by him. Tena labhyastasya tena labhyastasyesa atma vivurnute tanum swam. It's only attained or found by one whom the Atman chooses. Vivnate tanum swam. To such a one, the self reveals his own nature. Means whatever acrobatics we do, if the self doesn't choose you, you will not find the self. So the question is, what the hell am I supposed to do? The self doesn't choose me. Now you must understand, this is an isolated passage from the Upanishad. So we will see in the next shloka how the self would choose one. Now here, by saying it can't be understood through pravachanas, it can't be understood by the highest intellect, it cannot be understood by constant repetitions, it cannot, and so on and so forth. Then the Upanishad says, fortunately or unfortunately, this I am adding, this can be attained only by whom the self chooses to attain. Then it reveals its own nature. So why is it that it is not choosing everybody? By discrimination. Some have been chosen, they have found others are sitting like me and who is not choosing me. So the next sloka says something very interesting. For the self to choose you, certain qualifications are essential. One of the qualifications is the capacity to listen without prejudice. Listen without carrying the past with you. Listen as if you're listening for the first time. Plus, some other qualities which unless the mind develops, it will not become tranquil enough to allow the self to choose it. What is that? Navirato dushcharitam na shanto na shamahita na shanta manasa vapi prajnanevam apnuvat. Not he who has not desisted from evil ways. When you say evil ways, the biggest evil is only for myself, nothing for others. Self-centeredness is the greatest of evils. There is no worse evil than that. Also, there are some people, they can't sleep without doing some little bit wrong to somebody else. Otherwise, sleep won't come. Yeah. If nobody else, they torture the husband or the wife. One, because it's closest available. Otherwise, you can't sleep. Now, the self does not choose one who has not desisted from evil ways. Define your own evil ways, we can talk about it. Also, not he who is not tranquil. Na shanto, na shamahita. Whose mind is not tranquil. So all your sadhana is to make your mind tranquil, desist from evil ways, and then wait for the self to choose you. You cannot catch hold of it. And not he who does not have a concentrated mind, not he whose mind is not composed, can reach this self even through the right knowledge. Knowledge may be right, but as long as these changes are not brought about in one's character and mind, forget it, that self will not choose one. And when you have this much, you understand clearly that you cannot touch it. You have to settle down for it to touch you. So, Because of that, I told a story which I have told once before, but I also told it last time in the Upanishad class, which is to imagine a rectangular glass box, transparent box, which is divided in the center with another transparent wall. In this side, there are tiny wafer-thin creatures, wafer-thin little round creatures on one side. They are green colored, and there are many. The top is open, of course. And this side, there are a few, one or two red creatures, same type but red in color, who seem to be enjoying their life, eating biscuits, doing many good things. And how you enjoy depends on, somebody may say eating sausages, I am saying biscuits. Sure. Now the thing is, the division is a small wall between them, and the wall is transparent. Imagine. And these green ones can see these few red ones there enjoying themselves. They want to go there, but there's a wall in between, and they're so wafer thin that they only have the idea of length and breadth. They don't have anything about height or... They're two-dimensional creatures. They only go this way, this way, this way, this way. And they're trying hard. They're going dashing against the wall, running around in circles. But they have no idea that the top is open. There is one dimension above. And I'm watching from the top. I really feel compassionate for these guys. I want to take this green one and put it there. But how to catch them? They're always going. One is trying to rush here, one is trying to rush there. How do you catch them? Then one or two, after trying everything, says, this is not going to work. So what, let me rest for a while in one corner, then I take and put it there. Because he's given up. He knows no acrobatics are going to help. Now what to do? I don't know. Now I don't know is very difficult to come by. Upanishad says, he who does not know knows, and he who knows, knows not. So in that process then I say, okay, really I don't know how to do this. I'm resting and saying, oh God. And then I see this fellow, I can catch him, he's not slipping away, and I take him and put him there. Because if I tell him jump, he doesn't know that dimension, he can only go this way, that way. So this is the meaning of it. So here are the things required. Desist from evil ways. If you want to try it. The other day somebody came to me and said, no sir, I'm suffering so much. I said, why? See, my neighbor is doing black magic. I said, what? Yeah, he's doing black magic. So I said, so what am I supposed to do? Tell me how to do black magic so that he can... I said, look, I don't know any such thing. Then he said, every morning I see a lemon and the chili put at my door. I said, make lime juice. I said, so when nothing else works, black magic. So then I have to help to remove the black magic. I don't believe in black magic. What do I do? People ways, you go to in Kerala, in our land, there are lots of Nambudris. I'm sorry, shouldn't. Lots of these priests there who say, oh, your black magic, come, we will do something. Just about 5 lakhs it will cost. We will do this, 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 this. Black magic is gone. Then you, after some time, it again happens, right? You go back to him. It's good business, but there's no fact in it. There is no black magic. There is white magic. If you're kind and good and helpful, this is white magic. And it's basically psychological. People say, you know, I must tell you, whose time? Huh? 2 minutes. That's an interesting story. Next time anything like this happens, don't get frightened. One man went to a so-called, I want to use the caste name, in Kerala, to a priest-like type person, and he said, you give me 50,000 and I will get everything clear for you. He said, no, I won't give you any money. You're a fraud, you're a this. He said, I'll curse you. He said, what will you do to me? He said, in the night I will send Mohini. You know Mohini? What is Mohini? He said, female ghost, Mohini. She will come and walk around your house, and then you'll come running to me. So this guy got worried. So he went with great fear. He still said, let me try it out. If Mohini doesn't come, then I won't give him money. That night, he actually heard jingling anklets around. Somebody was walking around. There was the anklets jingling. He got really frightened. Now, he had appointed a new servant. 2-3 days it happened. He still hesitated to go. So he got a new servant from somewhere who came with a cat. That cat was the servant's pet. So one night, the cat escaped, ran around the house, jingling was happening, and came with a mouse. There were anklets around the mouse's neck. The Mohini disappeared. So he didn't pay the money. So they do all such things. They can curse a tree. Before going, they drill a small hole in the tree and put mercury inside and go. Naturally, the tree collapses. They think it's a curse, it is a black magic. To study the Upanishad, you have to free yourself from all this nonsense. And the reason why we believe in it is because we are not studying our own books and our own scriptures. We're depending on something else. Mohini, catch a squirrel and tie an anklet. And the night comes, ching, ching, ching. You don't know where it's coming from. So, this is the Upanishad. It's called the Rat Upanishad. So hopefully by the time we leave this, after 2 days, we'll be free of all this black magic nonsense from our heads and go happily. Right. So, tomorrow, I don't want to say which Upanishad I'm going to take up. I might take up one Upanishad and continue, or I might pick up here and there and do it. You must give me the freedom for this. You'll say yes, of course, because you like me, but I'm seriously asking you. Then they'll come to you for puja. Bhadrakali puja did that. Poor Bhadrakali has been defamed a lot. She's a wonderful lady, but anyway, thank you very much. Om Shanti Shanti.